Hello everyone, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. So this series we are specifically developing for the people who want to get exposure to the Power BI service, how exactly the Power BI service works, what is the exact use case, what is the exact requirement of the service, and how do we manage all other options which are available in Power BI service. So basically this would be a set of videos, a series of videos which we would be releasing one after the other, where all the components related to Power BI service are covered one after the other. Now, starting with what exactly the Power BI service is. To get started, we need to first understand what is the service. I mean, how and what the exact requirement is. Yep. To understand the exact requirement of Power BI service, assume that this is the report. Now, you as a developer, you have downloaded the Power BI desktop and you have created a normal report. Now, it's a normal retail store or retail sales insights report where multiple KPIs are present. Now, as a developer, this report is, I mean, purely not interactive. I mean, you have to make it interactive. If I click on this, okay, this is interactive, but you can see here, ideally, if I'm trying to click on any specific visual or any specific division or partition in this visual, that visual is highlighted here. Now, as a developer, we might understand because we are the person who have developed this report. But if you want to share this report, now there are possibilities if you're using a Power BI desktop. Either you have to use a control and your mouse, the control click with mouse, so as to make this report more interactive. If you want to navigate pages, if you want to click on any specific visual and make it more interactive, this has to be more a kind of control plus click. Now every time you want to share this report with some stakeholder, it is not possible for you to every time go back and check whether that report is interactive or not. Now, even this report, you want to share this report with particular stakeholder, either you have to save this, you have to click on this save as, write a name. Now here the name itself suggests, you can see the name is suggesting a certain name, and there is a certain extension to it which is .pbix. Now .pbix means it is Power BI exchange file, which is a development file. You cannot share this file. There is a possibility you can share it on a Teams, but that person who want to see this, the end person, the end user, the client or stakeholder who want to see this, he has to again download it. He has to have that Power BI desktop downloaded at his end, and then only open this report. Even if he opens this is not that interactive because he has to use his control and mouse. So in order to share this report as a viewer mode, maybe just to view this report and make it more interactive, the use case of Power BI service comes into picture. Now, how exactly it works? Assume that now Power BI service is just a website. It's a website developed by Microsoft specifically for Power BI to exchange reports of Power BI. Now, assume that this is a Power BI service or powerbi.com, which is the website name. Now, if you open this powerbi.com, this is basically a website. Now whatever reports you are sharing in Power BI desktop, you get an option called as upload here. In the ribbon bar, we get an option called as upload or publish. Now this option, if you want to share this report, you want to publish this report to the Power BI service, so as to user can activate this Power BI website on his hand and actually view this report rather than viewing it in the PBIX format or the development format. It is very important for a end user to go and visit a website. Now if you're taking an example of website, see, basically if you are using any application, take an example of Ola, your Ola or Uber. See, if that development app is shared with you, you have to, it is very difficult, it is very difficult for a user to go back and book the bookings via development app of a Ola and Uber. Now, assume this is Ola and this is an Uber application. Now, it is very difficult if you're shared the development application. But if that application is correctly developed and published to some website, now assume it is published to the Google Play Store or it is published to the iOS Apple Store, where you have to download that specific application and you're using it as a user. not as a developer. Now same goes with Power BI. If you want to share this report as a developer, we might develop this report, but if I want to share this report to some end user, which has to be more interactive and easy to use, you have to publish this report to certain, just like you're publishing your the Ola and Uber applications to Apple iStore or Play Store, the Android Play Store, you have to publish it to a powerbi.com, which is a website created by Microsoft. So it can be consumed by n number of users. A person who has access to this powerbi.com can consume these reports multiple times. That is how the Power BI service, the concept of Power BI service comes into picture. Now, there are multiple possibilities. Now, let us see in our first section, that is part one. In this video, we are going to learn more about service, introduction to the service, and uploading a report, how the process works. Now, starting with what is Power BI service, I've given you an idea why there is a need. If this specific Power BI report has to be consumed by multiple people, I mean, if we have developed a report, it has to be shared. It has to be viewed by the people who want to cater their business. In order to get that information, we have to share this report. Now, that is the exact need of Power BI service. Where do we share? We share it in a specific website, which is called as Power BI service. Now, the second question is how to access or open Power BI service. See, there are two modes. You can open Power BI service. There are two modes. One is app.powerbi.com. This is one URL, or else you can directly enter to powerbi.com. Both are same. Both will navigate you to the same website. Now let's take a look. If I'm trying to log in, app.powerbi.com. See, if I mention this, if I click on this, it will ask you for the login. Now, the first recommendation is while creating this powerbi.com or while activating this powerbi.com, once you open this, it will ask you for a login. Now, what do you mean by login? See, either you can open this app.powerbi.com or powerbi.com. Anyhow, they are navigating to the same website, but you need to have, in order to access these websites, we need to have a work or school account. Now, what do you mean by work or school account? You need to have a organization account. You cannot log in with your vendor email IDs. Now, what do you mean by vendor email ID? The email IDs which are published by Gmail, that is Google, the email IDs which are published by the Yahoo. See, people from Google want to access this, they need to log in with their google.com domain. So you cannot use your Gmail, you cannot use your Yahoo, you cannot use your Hotmail, you cannot use your Rediff mail, any such mails which are not your work or organization account, you cannot use these emails. So you need to have the organization account, which is must to activate your powerbi.com. So if you're a working professional, you will definitely get your work email IDs. If you're not a working professional, the first and important thing is you have to activate your work email ID. There are multiple possibilities, but you have to pay for certain email IDs. Now that is one important concept which we have to think on, because you cannot log in with your random Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, or Rediff mail, any specific emails. It has to be a purely work email. Now, once you mention that app.powerbi.com, it will ask you to mention your work email IDs. Now, I have my email ID, work email ID. You can log in it for the very first time. Once you log in it, this is how the website will look alike. The powerbi.com website will look alike. Now, same goes. We have used app.powerbi.com. If I only mention powerbi.com, it will navigate you to the same website. See, it is automatically asking you to log in again, and it is navigating you to the same website, which is app.powerbi.com. So both the emails, both the URLs which you're using, both the URLs are navigating you to the same website. Now coming down, in order to access Power BI service, this is not a free service, this is a premium service, because you are sharing your report and that report would be viewed by end user. This Power BI service, the app.powerbi.com or powerbi.com, this website is not a free. You have to pay certain amount to it. Now, while activating with your work we will always get a 50 or 60 days trial, a maximum of 60 days trial, where you can use all your services which are available in powerbi.com. All the services which you would be using as a paid user, you can use it for the 60 days as a free trial basis. So you would be getting this 60 days free trial. Now, what is the important thing what we have to do? Once you log into this website, go to your the icon where your details are mentioned. See, there is an option here, activate your trial. Now my trial is already activated. You'll get an option here, activate your trial. You have to click here and activate your trial. Trial of 60 days would be started from the day one, assuming that you have activated today, so it will start day one. So you can see you have already consumed today, that means only 59 days. So you have to activate this trial. Once this trial is completed, then you will have to go back and purchase it, which would be a purely paid service. After 60 days, you have to purely pay for the amount. You have to share your report. That means you have to pay an amount for this powerbi.com. Now, if you're a working professional, all the services would be given by certain client or the company which you're working for as a free of cost, because you are working for them as a developer, as a Power BI developer, and you would be sharing your reports here. Whatever work you would be doing, that all reports are shared. Now, once you activate this, once you activate your 60 days trial, the next question is, what are the licenses which are available in Power BI service? Now, it is very easy to understand. It is very easy to get. Usually, the Power BI desktop, the desktop version is free version. That means anyone can download this Power BI desktop. Anyone can create the reports. Once the report is created, I mean, whatever report you're working on, once the report is created, the second important thing is, this is probably a free version. Once you have to share this report, you have to pay for it. To share the report, we have to pay. Now, anyhow, we are getting 60 days of trial. In that 60 days of trial, we can utilize all the services, which would be just like a paid service. In case of powerbi.com, there are two licenses which are available. Rather than two, it's rather three licenses, but it is broadly classified into two. One is Pro account or Power BI Pro. Now, in case of Pro, you have to pay $10, 10 US dollars per user per month. Now, this is the minimum charge you have to pay if you want to activate the powerbi.com. The minimum charge for a pro account, which is the lowest, is $10 per user per month. Now, the other account is premium. In case of premium account, which is broadly again classified into two categories. Now, in these two categories, what all options we have? Premium per user. Now, it is premium per user, and one more option is premium per capacity. Now, there are charges are slightly different. For a pro, you're only paying $10 per user per month. Now, if you want to use premium per capacity, it is somewhere around $4,995 per user per month. It's around $4,995 per user per month. Now, this is not per user, it would be for per capacity. Rather than it's per capacity, that means a complete set of capacity or a complete set of people can use this as a one single capacity, and you are paying $4,995 for this complete capacity. Now, similarly, premium per user. Premium per user is specifically designed to get all the premium services, but for a single user rather than a single, I mean, a complete capacity or a complete team, it can be utilized by a single user. Now, it purely depends what type of services we are using, what type of options we are using. Now, in case of premium per user, the pricing also changes. You will get certain benefits you'll get some added advantage. In case premium per user, it is somewhere around $20. Now it purely changes. It is somewhere around $20. Now, if you want to convert it into the Indian rupees, it would be somewhere around 800 Indian rupees. This $20, you'll get all the premium capacities or the premium options, but here it would be only restricted to premium per user, which is around 1680 Indian rupees. This is around 840 and this is around 1680 Indian rupees. And you want to convert this premium per capacity, it is more costlier because a complete set of capacity can use this. It would be around 4,15,000. 4,15,000 Indian rupees. Now, these are all the options which are available: pro account and premium account. And further, premium account is broadly classified into two: premium per user and premium per capacity. Now, it is up to the individual or up to the organization which you're working on, which license best suits you. There are few services which are only available in premium. There are few services which can be available in both premium as well as pro license. So we would be discussing all these options, all the services, one after the other in further videos. Just to get started, we'll move further. Once the licenses is clear, how to activate the account and how to get the other settings done. See, the first thing, once you log in with your work or professional email ID, it would be somehow this website will look like this. Maybe for me, all the reports, all the workspaces are visible. Why? Because I am using this service since long. And still then, I have activated my trial from today. Go back. Here, there is an option called as cancel trial. If you're activating it for the very first time, you'll get an option called as start trial. So you have to click on that start trial. Once the trial is activated, how a Power BI report is shared in the Power BI service. See the option here. If you simply click on publish, let me save this report. See, if you simply click on publish, it will give you some list. Maybe if you're logging the Power BI service for the very first time and you have developed a report in Power BI desktop, it is very difficult to understand where do I publish it. You cannot directly publish it to the website. You have to publish it to certain folder. Now, just take an example. You are using your own laptop and you're working on a certain image or maybe certain Word file. Now, that Word file is somewhere stored. Even if it is stored on the desktop, that desktop is a folder there. If you're taking an example of desktop folder present in your local drive C. In local drive C, there is a folder called as desktop. So whatever you save in desktop, that would be stored in a folder called as local drive C. Under local drive C, there is a subfolder called as desktop. So certainly, if you want to save a file anywhere in your desktop, you will save in a folder. Now you want to save a file, there is a concept. You have to save it in a folder. To create a folder, and you have to save that file. Now, similar concept is used in Power BI service. In case of Power BI service, you have to create, once you log in, you have to go back to the left corner here. And here in the left corner, you get an option called as workspaces. If I click on workspace, see, for you, all these options would be blank. If you're activating for the very first time, all these options would be blank. You have to create a folder. A folder is called as a workspace in Power BI service. Simply click on new workspace, creating a new folder or creating a workspace. Now, specifically, you have to mention what should be the name of this workspace. Now, let me mention the name: KSR workspace. See, once you mention the name, that specific name is available or not. Even the hint is given by the Power BI service. With your email ID, whatever email ID I'm using, that email ID, that domain email ID, under that domain, is there an availability of that workspace? Is there an availability of this workspace? The name is available. You cannot create a duplicate name or duplicate folder here. Just like in case of your desktop, if you're creating a duplicate folder, that folder, assume that there is a folder 1. Now you want to create another folder one name. No, it will not take. Either it will take folder FOL for one, and in bracket it will take one more. So it is slightly different. The naming convention is slightly different. That same naming convention is used in Power BI website or Power BI service, where you have to create, if you want to create a workspace, it has to be slightly unique. There shouldn't be any duplicacy of this workspace. This is the workspace name. Once you mention that name, there's an option called as description. Now, this is not compulsion. Either you can write information. This workspace is created for this purpose. If you're working on a project, for which specific project you're working on, you can mention that project name, or maybe which specific client you're working on. Under that client, whether is it a development, whether is it a test workspace, there are multiple workspaces created in the organization. So you can mention that information in the description. Now here, it will ask you for a domain. See, for us, default domain is select the domain which we are using, the work email ID which we are using. Now, if I come down, see, there is an option to upload the image to this space. Now, specifically, you want to add an image. Now, let's take KSR. Let's take a copy of image from the KSR website itself. Let me save this image. Now, again, I go back to the service. Here, there is an option called as upload. So it should open this. We have saved it in the download. We should get this. Okay. Now the first thing which is highlighting here is the file size should be less than 45 KB. If the image which you have downloaded, it is more than 5 KB, it will not accept, because there are certain limitations. It will just consume your additional storage, the web storage. That is the reason it is asking you that image size should be less than 45 KB. Now let me compress this. Download it. Okay, it's a PNG format file. Let me upload the file now. Let me go back to the service, upload it again. Let's see if that file size has reduced. See, it's 81 KB. It's still more than 40. Let me recompress. Trying to see where it will be compressed. Let me change it again. From the file 81 KB. If I click here, okay, it's still 73 KB. So assume that you are working on a file, or maybe you have an image. We always have a flexibility. We can get that image, upload it, which is less than 45 KB. So let me see if there is an image which is less than 45 KB at my end. Um, Now, see, I have uploaded an image. This is an Amazon logo, but whatever image you want to upload, you can get that image. Now, the report which we have, this is a retail insights report or retail insights report. Now, maybe this is an Amazon report. That is the reason I've taken one image here for the Amazon logo. Now, if I click on advance, see here your name would be reflected. Create a workspace. The user who has an access to this workspace, you as the owner, would be highlighted here with the email ID which you have logged in. Now, the option here is you have a flexibility what type of account you want or what type of license you want. Default it is trial. In 60 days you can utilize pro, you can utilize premium per user. You get all the premium accesses also. Premium per capacity is for a complete set of people. It cannot be used by an individual. It has to be a group of people. So you have flexibility, either you use pro, either you use premium. Now the thing is, whatever option you choose here, we still have a flexibility once you create a workspace. That means once you create a folder, you can change it. Once the options are selected, click on apply. Now, a workspace would be created, a folder would be created where you can upload your reports. Now, the question is, how do I make sure that Pro can be changed to Premium? See, once this workspace is created, here you will have options. New tab, upload, create app, manage access. Now, towards right of manage access, there are three dots, which is more. If I click here, there is an option called as workspace settings. I can go here. See, you will get multiple options. If I go to Premium, we have already selected Pro. You can change it to Premium per user also. We still have flexibility. We can change it to Premium per user. So once you Premium per user, there are multiple options there. You can see multiple options are there. Now, none of these options are much important. In the other, there is an option called as remove this workspace. And you want to remove this specific folder which you created, you can delete that workspace from this other tab option in the workspace. Once you change it to Pro, or maybe once you change it to Premium, scroll down. If you scroll down, there's an option called as default storage format. In further videos, I would be explaining about storage format of this exact case. By default is selected to small. Now you have flexibility, you can select or large. In simple terms, if you are working on reports where the data is small, small semantic model, and if you are working in reports, the data is large with our semantic model. I would be explaining detail in the further videos, but to get an idea, I would always go with large. If I have option, why to go small? I'll click on apply. It is asking you, see, automatically changes would be applied. It would be a premium workspace. Now, if I close this, see, there is something new here. After the workspace name, there is a diamond icon which I add here. Assume that which gives an idea that is premium per user account or premium per user workspace. Now the licenses which I have discussed here, the licenses required for Power BI service, for every workspace we have a flexibility. Either you can change from Pro, or either you can change from Premium to Pro or Pro to Premium. If you only have Pro account, all the workspaces would be automatically created the Pro account only. If I again want to change back this space to Pro, and I have 60 days of trial, again I'll click on this workspace settings, go back to the Premium. If I change it to Pro, scroll down. If I click on apply, see, once I have changed it to Pro, the diamond icon is gone. So we have a flexibility. You can change the Premium or Pro licenses in 60 days of trial as per our requirement. Now, in case of Premium only, we have this option storage format. I'll again make last click on apply. It would be automatically changed to Premium, and you can see the diamond icon is again visible here. Now, this is just a workspace. We are not yet published any report to it. Now, I'll come here. See, how do I make sure the report is published? You have to log in your Power BI desktop. Here you will get an option to log in the rightmost corner above the ribbon of Power BI. In the black option, the black bar which we have an option to log in. Though the same account or the same email ID which you have used for Power BI service, you have to log in that. Now there is also a flexibility. Either you can click here Power BI service, it would be navigating you to the same account, the account which you have logged in the desktop, or it would be the same website which we have logged in. Back to the report. Once you logged in, you'll get this option enabled, publish option. For many of you, this option is not enabled. Why? Because you haven't logged in your work account on the Power BI. Once you log in, you will get this option enabled. Click on publish. So it will ask you to save the report which we have saved. Save. Now here you have to check the workspace. I might get multiple options. Why? Because I have created multiple workspaces. The workspace which I have created, KSR, say this workspace. I'll select this workspace, click on select. See, it would be publishing your report to that specific workspace. Now, once it is published, it will give me an pop-up here. Okay, your file was published. Now, some might get different view. This is completely different. Some get different view once you publish. Go back to the service, refresh this page. So you'll get a report and a data model for it. Now, we have only published a report. What is the semantic model? See, for every data, for every report, there is a data associated with it. Might be there are multiple tables from where this data is coming. So wherever wherever that data is being pulled into this report, that data is published along with the report. That semantic model is also published. The data model is also published. Semantic model was earlier called as data model. Now, with the introduction of new update, it is called semantic model. Now, this is how the semantic model and report both are published. Now, one more important thing, if I again go to the workspaces here, the default will get an option called My Workspace. Whenever you log into the Power BI service or Power BI.com, without creating any workspace, you will get a default workspace called as My Workspace. Now, if I click on My Workspace, if I click on Workspace settings, see Workspace settings option which I have showed you here, same option is also available if you hover on that specific workspace. There is option called as more option. You can click here. Either you can choose workspace settings, workspace access. Now, if I go back to my workspace, if I click on more options, there is an option called as work settings. See, I do not have flexibility to change it to pre or to change it to pro in case of my workspace. It is default as pro. My workspace, if I go back, click on the workspace, go to my workspace. See, there are multiple reports published here, but in case you will definitely get this default option workspace. If I click on workspace, there's no option to select from pro to premium. So the drawback of using your default my workspace is you cannot change it from pro to premium. If you want to change it from pro to premium, go create a new workspace. That means creating a new folder. Workspace is nothing but a folder where you are publishing your reports. Now I go back to the workspace which I've created, the folder which I've created, where I have published my report. Along with the report, a semantic model is also published. Now, multiple options here. We have only started with creating a workspace, uploading a report. Now, once you upload a report, anyhow, semantic model or data model is also uploaded. Either you can upload via Power BI desktop, which is publish option here, or else if you have created a workspace, there is an option called as OneDrive, SharePoint, and Browse. So somewhere you have shared or somewhere you have saved a report in your local system, you can always browse that. You can always browse that. Now this is the report which I was looking. You can upload it from here as well. If I click on open, see it is the same report which I have uploaded it from the desktop. The same report I'm trying to browse and upload, and it is giving me an option. You already have a dataset with same name. Would you like to replace that existing dataset? And whenever a same set or same report is published, it will ask you to replace. Now, if I click on replace, see that existing file is replaced. Your file has been updated. You can see earlier it was 7:37. Now it has updated to 7:44. The current a gap of 4 minutes. Earlier I have published it from now I have uploaded it from browse. So there is an option called as OneDrive also. You can upload it from OneDrive as well. There is a flexibility. You can save report in OneDrive and you can upload from your OneDrive. That option is also available. Now you can share report via SharePoint. Yes, even that is possible. But most of the cases, if you are working as a Power BI developer, either you use this publish option or else you go back to your service, click on browse, where you have shared your PBX file, get that PBX file and upload it. If that same file is present, you have to replace that file. Now this is basic information you have to get started with once you are new to this Power BI service. Now, further in few other videos, you will be getting more ideas, more options which are available in Power BI service. That's it for today's